We have some breaking news. Billionaire Elon Musk says he intends to reverse Twitter's ban on former President Donald Trump.
The Tesla and SpaceX CEO said today it was a mistake to kick him off the social media platform. Twitter suspended Mr. Trump following the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. The company cited concerns the former president could incite further violence. Now, for more on this, CBS News tech reporter Dan Patterson joins us now. Dan, welcome. What else do we know about this announcement from Musk?
Well, we are learning the details, and we should say that President Trump last week, or former President Trump last week, said that he would not be rejoining Twitter, instead favoring his own social media account, Truth Social. But we know that the former president's association with the truth is pretty loose. So it's fairly likely that we see him back on Twitter. However, it's not guaranteed that Musk will own Twitter. He doesn't own it yet. The stock price might impact his decision, and that stock has been fluctuating pretty rapidly. However, what we do know is that he said, look, permanent bans should be very, very rare and used for bots and other accounts that are totally inauthentic and not used in the case of actual people.
Now, you bring up the stock price and how it's fluctuating a bit. So it makes me wonder whether all of this is just a business move, right? I mean, how significant would it be to Twitter's bottom line if the former president rejoined? Would it move the needle?
Look, it could move the needle, Tanya. Look, Twitter, as with all social media platforms, really thrives on engagement, and there is no individual more engaging than the former president. But we also know that Elon is full of bluster. He likes to say stuff in order to move the needle himself, and he often says things that are just not true. So in this case, he could be saying that he would let President Trump back on the platform, but have no intention of reversing the ban, or no capability of reversing the ban.
That's a really good point, actually, just saying it to see what happens by saying it, right?
Yeah.
Dan, we know the former president relied heavily on Twitter in terms of getting his message out. How could this impact getting his message out? You mentioned he says he's not going back. He's going to use Truth Social, but that's where you know, the interactions are. That's where the people are more on Twitter than they are on Truth Social.
Yeah, look, when the former president was banned just after the January 6th insurrection, he kind of shifted to press releases. These still garnered a lot of attention. He earned media. So in the parlance of today's media, what we do, that means he created content that generated engagement. It wasn't the same as on Twitter. It wasn't social media, but his press releases were still newsworthy. Mm-hmm. So they're still important. He is a former president, no matter how you feel about him. However, him coming back to Twitter could kind of change that a little bit. And it could change his relationship with his own site, where he not just has staked his claim, but he also raised a lot of money. So it's really between him and his investors at Truth Social, where his brand is now invested, where the president's own personal cachet will fall.
But Dan, sticking with Twitter, what could this mean for other people who are banned? Is there an indication that former President Donald Trump will just be the first to be allowed back on the platform? Or is this a case-by-case basis?
Tanya, that is the really interesting question. So, you know, President Trump is at top of mind, but below President Trump are all sorts of different provocateurs, entertainers, and different types of personalities who have been banned for a variety of reasons. So those people could really be impacted by this decision, and it could fundamentally change the way that the nature of Twitter, kind of the personality of Twitter.
So interesting. I do know that there are a lot of journalists who have said on Twitter, journalists and other media types who've said if he comes back, we might jump off and form an alternate site. So who knows what could happen? It's all, like you said, it's all speculation at this point because Elon Musk doesn't even own it yet.
Yeah, look, one thing we have always said about Twitter is that it's not the biggest social network in the world, but it is maybe the most buzzy. It is at the center of the cultural zeitgeist, and there is one figure that is also at the center of the cultural zeitgeist, and that's former President Trump.
So true. All right, Dan Patterson, thank you so much for breaking this down for us. We appreciate it.
Good to see you.